So, we will continue with this solving problems of thermodynamics. Now, we will focus more on that general thermodynamics problem. See, first an ideal gas gamma equal to 1.4 at 1000 Kelvin and 0.6 megapascal pressure enters a reversible adiabatic nozzle. So, the device is reversible adiabatic nozzle, right, at a velocity of 50 meter per second and leaves at 0.2 megapascal. The molecular weight of the gas is 28. So, discharge velocity is to be calculated. So, you see here P1, if I just think of this as nozzle, P1 is equal to 0.6 megapascal, T1 is equal to 1000 Kelvin, V1 is 50 meter per second. So, it leaves at P2, which is actually nozzle means here it is a diffuser I have drawn. So, nozzle means this, right. So, P2 is 0.2 megapascal. So, you have to calculate the discharge velocity. So, C, and it is isentropic nozzle. C, SFE for nozzle is Q dot, see general SFE is Q dot minus W dot S equal to delta of H plus V bar square by 2 plus GZ into M dot. Now, Q dot is 0, W dot S no shaft work, no change of datum level. So, delta of H plus delta of V square by 2 equal to 0. Now, delta of H, as it is an ideal gas, we can write that Cp into T2 minus T1 plus V2 bar square minus 1 minus V1 bar square minus 1. That is equal to 0, right. But Cp is not given, we can solve the Cp from the value of gamma. So, Cp minus Cv are Cp by Cv gamma. So, Cp minus Cp divided by gamma equal to R. So, Cp equal to gamma R divided by gamma minus 1. So, it is 1.4, 8.314, 1.4 minus 1 joule per mole per Kelvin. So, it is a molar specific heat. So, this is to be converted to the mass basis, because here these are Cp, here is the per unit mass basis, because we have this V square by 2 as the kinetic energy per unit mass. So, here we consider this Cp as joule per kg per Kelvin equal to 1.4 into 8.314 divided by 0.4 joule per mole per Kelvin. 1 mole, its molecular weight is 28. So, 28 gram, 10 to the power 3 gram, 1 kg. So, cancelling out, giving joule per mole per kg, because this gram cancels out, mole cancels out. So, joule per kg per Kelvin, it will be giving you the Cp value. So, that is to be substituted there. So 1.4 into 8.314 into 10 to the power 3 divided by 28 into 0.4 into T2 minus T1, which is 1000, plus V2 bar square minus 50 square by 2 equal to 0. So, you have to solve this V2. For that, we have to know T2. So, how to get the T2? Because it is adiabatic, so we will have P2 by P1 and it is ideal gas, gamma minus 1 by gamma equal to T2 by T1. So, P2 is 0.2, this is 0.6 to the power 0.4 divided by 1.4 equal to T2 by T1, which is 1000. So, from there get the value of T2 and substitute it back here. So, you can solve this V2 one. So, that is the problem of adiabatic nozzle. See, here we cannot include this efficiency term because there is no work. Okay. For a gas following V equal to B plus RT by P, calculate Joule-Thomson coefficient. Right. So, I forgot the expression of Joule-Thomson coefficient, what it is. So, I will derive it. Okay. So, you see that dH equal to Cp dt plus del H del P at constant T dP, and throttling, though we cannot conclude that it is an isenthalpic process directly from the scope of classical thermodynamics, however, its initial and final enthalpies are same. So, dH equal to 0 and del T del P at constant H, which is Joule-Thomson coefficient, is minus of del H del P at constant T divided by Cp. Now, dH is equal to, just we have solved previously, TdS plus VdP. So, del H del P at constant T is equal to T del S del P at constant T plus V, and Gibbs energy fundamental property relation gives you minus of SdT plus VdP. So, from the respective Maxwell equation we get del S del P at constant T will be equal to del V del T at constant P, which is beta into V, as beta is equal to 1 by V del V del T at constant P. So, del H del P at constant T, there will be a minus sign, sorry, minus beta V. So, it is equal to minus T beta V plus V. So, Joule-Thomson coefficient mu Jt equal to this will be substituted here, but there is a minus sign. So, V minus V beta T divided by Cp, right. Or here I have given the minus sign, so it is fine. So, minus of beta TV and all. So, we have got this expression. Now, the point is we have to calculate this beta, and beta V, if we further split, again it is del V del T at constant P into T divided by Cp. So, del V del T, according to this equation, del V del T at constant P is equal to R divided by P, right. So, mu Jt is V minus RT by P divided by Cp. V minus RT by P divided by Cp, and V is equal to B plus RT by P minus RT by P divided by Cp. So, okay, no, it's here, the B is a function of temperature, it's given. So, let us take the derivative differently. So, it will be del B del T at constant P plus R by P. So, this mu Jt is V is B plus RT by P plus del B del T at constant P into T, there will be a T plus this will be minus RT by P divided by Cp. So, this cancels out. So, B minus del B del T at constant P into T divided by Cp. B minus T into del B del T at constant P divided by Cp. So, that is the answer. Okay. Next. So, it is my strategy not to remember any expression except it is very fundamental like Clausius inequalities and all. Otherwise, I prefer to derive the working equation, right, instead of remembering it. Next, see, dry saturated steam, 3 bar, its S is given, entropy is given 6.9909 kilojoule per kg Kelvin, and enthalpy 2724.7 kilojoule per kg, that is given. It enters a reversible adiabatic nozzle. With negligible velocity. Here the velocity is 0 and here the pressure is 2 bar, and at 2 bar what is given, I am not writing the value, liquid entropy, enthalpy, vapor entropy and vapor enthalpy, these are given. And what we have to calculate? The exit velocity, right. Now, you see what will happen. First, as it is reversible adiabatic nozzle, so delta S must be equal to 0, right. So, 6.9909 is the inlet per unit mass entropy. Now, here on this side we do not know what is the state of the saturated steam, because from 3 bar it is going down to 2 bar. So, you do not know what is the situation there. So, what we will do? We will consider a 2 phase, right. Then what is the fraction of the liquid phase? Let us write this X is a fraction, or let us say it is a fraction of vapor phase, and definitely it is a mass fraction, right. So, this must be SV plus 1 minus X into SL. So, SV, SL are given, so we can solve for X, because the principle is it is a reversible adiabatic nozzle and entropy must remain constant between the inlet and outlet. Next, the SFE, as we have discussed previously, this delta H plus delta of V square by 2 equal to 0. So, H2 minus H1 plus V2 square by 2 equal to 0, because V1 is closely equal to 0. Now, H2 will be what? H2 will be SL, HL into 1 minus X plus X into HV minus H1, which is given here, plus V2 bar square by 2 equal to 0. So, here from we can solve this V2 bar. Right. So, previously it was an ideal gas. So, there we had used this equation, this P2 by P1 to the power gamma minus 1 by gamma equal to T2 by T1 in order to calculate the temperature, and here we are using it differently, right, and here the principal quantity is the quality. This X is called the quality of the steam or whatever two phase we are having. So, from there we are calculating this vapor fraction, and from the vapor fraction we are able to calculate the outlet enthalpy and subsequently the velocity. Yeah, this is a very interesting problem. See what is given. It is two linked problem, not a gate problem. Figure depicts, okay, let me draw the figure. It is a schematic actually and representing the process as well. The figure depicts a cyclic engine exchanging heat between two constant pressure reservoirs with finite total heat capacities, CPH and CPC, right, total heat capacity. So, it is equivalent to MCP. At the beginning of the process, the temperature of the hot and cold reservoirs are TH naught and TC naught respectively, and as the process progresses, TH decreases and TC increases. Find the equation of maximum work obtainable by decreasing the hot reservoir temperature from TH naught to TH. Express your result. We have to write maximum work as a function of TH, CPH, CPC, TH naught and TC naught, right. So, you see when it will deliver maximum work, basically if the system operates in Carnot cycle. So, you see this del QH with respect to the engine is minus CPH DTH, because as DTH is decreasing, and del QC with respect to the engine, if we write the sign CPC into DTC, as DTC is greater than 0, right. So, we know this del QH by TH equal to del QC by TC, but that we are going to use later. Del W is equal to del QH minus del QC, this mod, right, and which satisfies this relation. So, this is minus CPH into DTH and minus CPC into DTC. So, if I integrate W equal to CPH into TH naught minus TH minus CPC, TC minus TC naught. So, our task is to replace this TC, right. Our task is to replace this TC. So, dQH is equal to minus of CPH dTH by TH, and this is CPC into DTC by TC. So, if I integrate it from TH naught to TH, and here it is from TC naught to TC, what I will get? So, plus of CPH ln of TH naught by TH is equal to CPC ln of TC by TC naught. So, CPH, or rather TH naught by TH to the power CPH by CPC into TC naught equal to TC, right. So, simple algebraic manipulation, and from here we can write that CPH into TH naught minus TH minus CPC. Here you can take this TC naught common, then within bracket TH naught by TH to the power CPH by CPC minus 1. Okay. So, that is the expression of W max, because we have used the principle of Carnot cycle. Next, what is the lowest possible TH consistent with the solution of equation 8? See, we have used Carnot cycle, so obviously lowest possible TH is when TH is equal to TC. So, TH naught divided by TH to the power CPH by CPC into TC naught equal to TH itself. So, TH naught to the power CPH by CPC into TC naught equal to TH to the power 1 plus CPH by CPC. This is getting multiplied. So, we will have this TH CPH plus CPC divided by CPC. So, if you go for inverse powering in this is, so CPH divided by CPH in plus CPC into TC naught to the power CPC divided by CPH plus CPC equal to TH minimum. So, which in compact expression TH naught to the power CPH, TC naught to the power CPC whole 1 divided by CPH plus CPC equal to TH min. Right. So, that is the two answers of the question. This bit conceptual, try to understand the basic formalism, what we have used, this is the crux, and actually this integral, and from there the calculation. See another problem. A saturated liquid at 1500 kilopascal and 500 Kelvin with an enthalpy of 750 kilojoule per kg. It's throttled liquid plus vapor mixture at 150 kilopascal, 300 Kelvin. At the exit condition, the enthalpy of saturated liquid HL is 500 kilojoule per kg and that of saturated vapor is 2500 kilojoule per kg. The percentage of the original liquid that is vaporized. So, it is pretty simple. Throttling means it is a Joule-Thomson expansion, right. So, there this delta H equal to 0. So, 750 vaporized means x into HV plus 1 minus x into HL, and from there you can solve the x multiplied by 100 is the answer. Okay. This is also an interesting problem to solve. Smith-Vannes exercise problem, and it is conceptual based on Carnot cycle. The heat engine operating in outer space may be assumed equivalent to a Carnot engine operating between reservoir at temperature TH and TC. So, from TH to TC we have a Carnot cycle. Right. The only way heat can be discarded from the engine is by radiation, the rate of which is given by Q dot C is equal to K into A into Tc to the power 4. The Stefan-Boltzmann's law, K is a constant and A is the area of the radiator. A is the area. For a fixed power output, so mod W dot is constant and fixed temperature TH. The radiator area is minimum when Tc by TH we have to find out when area is minimum, right. So, you see what we are going to use is mod W divided by QH dot, it is equal to, or rather we can write QH dot divided by QC dot equal to TH divided by TC, and this can be further expressed as mod W plus Ka Tc to the power 4 is equal to TH divided by Tc into Ka Tc to the power 4, right, mod W dot. So, because mod of QH dot is equal to this mod W dot plus mod of QC dot. So, this is QC dot and here it is TH by TC. So, you have cross multiplied. So, let us take the derivative of this equation with respect to TC. So, first part is 0, second is Ka into 4 into Tc to the power 3 plus K Tc to the power 4 into dA dTc is equal to, here it is cube. So, Ka Th into 3 into Tc square plus this Ka or K Th Tc cube into dA dTc. Now, dA dTc must be equal to 0, which is the necessary condition for minimum. So, what do we get? 4 Ka Tc to the power 4 is equal to 3 Ka Th into Tc square, sorry, Tc cube. So, we get this Tc divided by Th equal to 3 by 4 because this and this cancels out. So, that is the answer. See, this equation you will fail if I go for writing QH dot as it is, because QH dot is not a constant, W dot is constant. So, write that in terms of this W dot and whatever rate expressions you know, that is QC dot. Okay. Next, helium is to be compressed continually in an adiabatic compressor. It is an adiabatic compressor and we are compressing helium. From an initial condition P1 0.1 megapascal, T1 293 Kelvin to a final pressure P2 0.5 megapascal. It is assumed that the compressor operates with an efficiency of 75% compared to isentropic. So, this is isentropic efficiency. What will be the final temperature of helium? Helium may be considered as an ideal gas. So, Cp given is 20.88 joule per mole per Kelvin. Right. So, you have to find out the final temperature T2. You see, for compressor, minus of Ws dot or minus of Ws equal to delta H in terms of per unit mass basis, and minus of Ws Eisen equal to delta H Eisen, isentropic expansion. And in compressor we are giving what? So, minus W dot S or Ws is positive and isentropic work required will be less, which is delta H Eisen divided by delta H, and that is equal to 0.75 efficiency. Right. So, once we have this, now it is an ideal gas. So, we can write it is to be Cp T2 Eisen minus T1 divided by Cp T2 minus T1, that is 0.75. So, T1 we know, Cp cancels out. So, if I calculate or if I am able to calculate T2 Eisen, T2 can be solved. And basically T2 Eisen, as you all know, the T2 Eisen divided by T1 equal to P2 by P1 to the power gamma minus 1 by gamma. Right. And helium is a monoatomic gas for which gamma is equal to 1.6 and P2 0.5, P1 0.1. So, 0.5 divided by 0.1 to the power 0.6 divided by 1.6, and T1 is 293 Kelvin. So, from there T2 Eisen can be calculated. We have to substitute it here and we can calculate T2. Okay. This is a GATE 2003 2 marks problem. A steam turbine operates, with superheated steam. Here we charge superheated steam and mass flow rate is 1 kg per second. The steam is supplied at P1 41 bar and T1 500 degree, which is 773 Kelvin. Right. And discharges at 1.01325 bar and 100 degree. So, data, what is given? I am not writing exactly this all the data. Right. Here enthalpy of saturated enthalpy here it's given, entropy is given, right. Now at 1.01325 bar and 100 degree, what we have? These are given. So, what is asked? The maximum power output, W dot max. So, you see that here we know that minus of W dot S is equal to delta H into m dot, and from there we know that if it is an isentropic expansion, then the work generated will be maximum. Right. So, we have to work with that equation, and isentropic means S2 is equal to S1. Now, S2 we do not know, however, SL and SV are given. So, we assume a quality, that is a vapor fraction. So, S1 we can write as X into SV plus 1 minus X into SL. So, here from we have to find X, right. Once X is known, we can write the delta H Isen as X into HV plus 1 minus X into HL, right, minus H1. So, this is negative. So, W dot S will be positive and m dot is 1 kg per second. So, substitute that, you will get the answer in kilojoule or kilowatt rather. So, this enthalpy balance through the quality, considering the quality, it is very important for two-phase systems like steam. Okay. Okay, this 2015 2 marks problem, very simple, based on Fast law. An ideal gas initially at pressure 0.1 megapascal and total volume 2 meter cube. It's first compressed just listen, it's first compressed to 1 megapascal by reversible. So, state 1, state 2. So, this is compressed by reversible adiabatic process. And here P2, adiabatic process, and then cooled at constant pressure to a final volume. So, first compressed to 1 megapascal and then cooled at constant pressure. So, isobaric cooling, right, to a final volume, final state 3. So, V3 is this 0.2 meter cube. So, you have to calculate the total work done on the gas for the entire process, given R is given, Cp is given, right. So, we have the final pressure, right, and here we know the initial pressure and volume. So, as it is ideal gas and it is reversible adiabatic compression, so P1 V1 to the power gamma equal to P2 V2 to the power gamma. And gamma we can calculate from the Cp, it's given 2.5 R. So, Cv equal to 1.5 R because Cp minus Cv is R. So, gamma equal to 2.5 divided by 1.5. So, P1 0.1 into 2 to the power 2.5 divided by 1.5 equal to this P2 1 multiplied by V2 to the power 2.5 divided by 1.5. So, you can solve for V2, right. So, V2 has been solved. So, for W12 it is compressed. So, what is stated? The total work done on the gas. So, W12 equal to P1 V1 minus P2 V2 divided by gamma minus 1. So, that can be done, and W23 is P2 into this V3 minus V2, right. So, both will be negative. So, we have to add this regarding the negative sign, because you see the process in graph looks like this PV. So, it is an adiabatic compression from state 1 to state 2, then isobaric cooling to state 3. So, V3 must be lower than V2, and V3 is given, which is 0.2 meter cube. V2 we have solved, and P2 also we know, which is 1 megapascal. So, from there we can calculate the work done on the gas. So, what we see here, that most of the gate problems that deals with this fundamental understanding, and that is one of my strategy, that I do not remember equations. If I know the basics, if I can picturize the situation, and definitely I can understand and can immediately sort out what will be my working equation, and if it is not a basic one, I can derive it. Okay. So, one of the interesting problem may be that let us say we have two-stage compressor and a cooler. So here the pressure is P1, T1. Here it's increased to P2, temperature also will increase to T2. Here we reduce the temperature without any change of pressure to the same as inlet temperature. And finally we discharge the gas at P3 and T3. Now these compressors request W dot 1 and W dot 2 amount of work. Okay. So find, my problem is find P2 optimum for fixed P1 and P3 to minimize W dot total. Right. So you see, for compressor, this W dot is, or let's write minus of W dot S is equal to delta H into M dot. Right. So minus of W dot S is equal to delta H, or delta, this is delta small h, this is into N dot. It's a molar, this is capital, this is molar, this is per mass of the specific enthalpy, and here this is the molar flow rate. So delta H we can write as Cp into T2 minus T1 into N dot into eta. It's compressor, so it will be divided by eta. So T2 here it's T2 Eisen. Right. Because isentropic work or isentropic enthalpy change divided, which is equal to what required, that divided by this isentropic efficiency will give you the work in normal real process. So Cp into N dot divided by eta into T1 will give you T2 by T2 Eisen by T1, which is P2 by P1 to the power gamma minus 1 by gamma minus 1. Right. So that is minus of W dot S. So W dot required is gamma into R into T1 into N dot divided by gamma minus 1 into eta into this P2 by P1 to the power gamma minus 1 by gamma minus 1. This is positive. P2 is higher because previously it was negative. So minus of W dot S is the work required. So here for the present case, W dot total is W dot 1 plus W dot 2, and in both the cases the inlet temperatures are same. So we can write gamma R T1 into N dot, and let's consider the two compressor stages are identical, eta into gamma minus 1, and here we will have P2 by P1 to the power gamma minus 1 by gamma plus P3 by P2 to the power gamma minus 1 by gamma minus 2. Right. So that's my objective function, and del W dot total we will be taking the derivative with respect to P2 and set it equal to 0. This is gamma R T1 into N dot divided by eta into gamma minus 1. Now this will be gamma minus 1 by gamma into P2 to the power gamma minus 1 by gamma minus 1 divided by P1 to the power gamma minus 1 by gamma, plus or minus gamma minus 1 by gamma P3 to the power gamma minus 1 by gamma divided by P2 to the power gamma minus 1 plus gamma, because it is in the negative side, and that we have to set equal to 0. Right. So P2 to the power gamma minus 1 by gamma minus 1, and this will be cross multiplied. So, plus gamma minus 1 by gamma plus 1 is equal to P3 to the power gamma minus 1 by gamma into P1 to the power gamma minus 1 by gamma. So, P2 into 2 into gamma minus 1 by gamma equal to P1 into P3 to the power gamma minus 1 by gamma. So, P2 becomes geometric mean of P1 and P3. This is the P2 optimum. Right. And industrially, you see, we use this multiple compressor stages. So, you see, industrially, we use, whenever we use this multi-stage compressor, why? What is the rationale behind using multi-stage compressor instead of using a large compressor? Because we want to save the power usage. You see, for a multi-stage compressor, if this is the inlet and let us say this is the outlet pressure, and we are going for this sort of compression. Though I should not draw the solid line, and this should be a dotted line because it is irreversible actually, but if we think a reversible analog, it will be something like this. Okay. Now, if I go for an intermediate pressure and apply an isobaric cooling, the situation will be like this. So, this much amount of integral PV space, which is work, equivalent to work, this you are saving, right? And that is the rationale behind using multi-stage compressor with interstage coolers. So, lastly, we will discuss again very simple phase space conversion problem, that is from PV if a cycle or curve is given or a cycle is given, then what should be its shape in this TS space. So, in PV space, the problem was, in the PV space, it looks like an adiabatic compression, isobaric heating and isochoric pressure reduction, right. So, this is 1, 2 and 3. So, what will be the respective plot in TS? So, from 1 it is reversible adiabatic, so isentropic will go like this. Next it is isobaric, right. So, for isobaric, you see we know this TDS equal to du plus or dH minus VdP. So, this is 0 for isobaric and that is Cp dt. So, T divided by Cp will be the slope of isobaric TS plot, whereas simply T divided by Cv will be the slope of isobaric or isochoric TS plot. Now, Cp is greater than Cv, so del T del S at constant P should be less than del T del S at constant V, because Cp and Cv both appears in the denominator. So, here it is a this sort of curve, because this point will be above and over the midpoint, as the slope, you see the slope is lower, this is isobaric, the slope will be lower. So, it will be above and over the midpoint. If both definitely cannot be an isobaric process here, So if one isobaric, another isochoric. So isochoric has got a higher slope, whereas isobaric, the slope magnitude will be lower. So that's the conversion 1, 2, and 3. So that's all about thermodynamics. What we need, we have covered all the subjects, or all the topics rather, and I have given a special emphasis on these activity coefficient models, as you can see, and we have solved the problem. So in the next sessions onwards,